Hey guys, it's Drew again. So I have another quick story about something that I picked up recently, but just a little background about me. So I live in Georgia, and I have for 30 years since I came here to go to college. But I grew up in Northeast New Jersey, and when I grew up, the company that my dad worked for had box seat tickets to Mets games, Shea Stadium. And every year he would get a few different games that we would be able to go, and I was able to see quite a few games growing up. Saw all sorts of great players, and it's just a great thing. Of course, there were good seats, they were up front, they were close, and all through the '80s and even into a little into the early '90s, I got to go see a lot of those big players. And back when the Mets, won in '86, I went to a few games that year, saw that big team, Strawberry, and saw Gooden pitch and all that stuff. But one of the things that I like to do, like anybody, was if they had a giveaway. And nowadays, there's a lot more giveaways. There's a lot more, bobblehead nights and special nights where they have all sorts of stuff, just promotional things. But back then, there was only a few a year. And of course, there was no internet back then, so you just kind of knew you had to get a schedule or something printed ahead of time to know, or you just got lucky. Well, there was one specific time we got lucky. We happened to go to a game, and it was mini bat night. And if you remember those things, it was just a little bat, and it was cool. It just had the Mets logo on it. And I remember getting one, and I had it. It was just one of those things I had as a kid. It was a good memento. It was a good reminder of going to that game, going with my dad, my brother, and watching. I don't know who they were playing. I don't even remember what year it was, but I had that. And it was just one of those cool little, knickknack items that you have as a kid that you kind of hold on to. And I didn't cherish it. It wasn't like gold. I mean, I probably beat it up and whatever. But yeah, it was just one of those little things, and I'm sure you guys have different things that you've got or had from your childhood you remember. Well, moving on. When I was in college in the early '90s, the company that my dad's company, I'm sorry, the company that my father worked for transferred their national headquarters from New Jersey down to North Carolina. And as a result, my parents moved from New Jersey down to North Carolina while I was living down in Georgia. And all of my stuff, all of my childhood stuff, the bedroom that I grew up in, it was just full of stuff. And of course, it wasn't organized or anything else. And I knew what everything was, but my mom had asked, "Hey, we're gonna put your stuff together and we'll bring it down, then you can sort through it." Well, when they got to North Carolina and I got to see all the stuff that they brought, what they did was they had this box and they put things in that they thought may be important to me, but most of the things that I had grown up with were just tossed. And it's a typical story. We've all heard it before. But I lost a lot of different things, little cool things. Again, nothing of major value. I didn't have I did lose some baseball cards, but it was just stuff that I had. They were beat up anyway. But anyway, that was kind of what happened, and including in there was this little mini bat. And I'd kind of forgotten about it until just recently. My wife and I were away for a quick weekend together, and we were just walking around. We went into an antique store, anytime you go to an antique store, I don't know about you, but I'm always looking for anything baseball related. And for the most part, I don't find anything. At best, you might find, a softball bat or something, maybe in a glove, but nothing old, vintage. Almost never cards. If they are cards, they are highly, highly overpriced. Sometimes they have modern cards, but very rarely. But for the most part, at least down where I live in the South, very few vintage baseball items I've ever found of any kind, quality, overpriced, or otherwise. But I'm always kind of looking out for it. And as I was walking around the shop, I saw this little stand and it had a little baseball bat on it. And I picked it up and I looked at it, and it turned out that it was the exact same mini bat that my parents had thrown away. That was a giveaway at Shea back in the '80s. It could have been a different game, different year, or whatever, but it was the exact same bat. And so yeah, I definitely bought it. And this one is beat up. It reminds me a lot of the one that I had as a kid. I mean, you can see this one is chewed up, or it's probably dry rotted or something. The end looks like a little kid chewed on it. These were just mass produced cheaply out. You could see the hole where it was just spun on a lathe real quick. But it does have the Mets logo on it. It's got the patina on it. It's beat up. I think I paid $6 for it, and it was awesome. But Yeah, I just wanted to show that to you guys because we all have memories of growing up. We have memories of different stuff that we had, and we think, oh man, I wish I still had it or whatever. And as far as my story goes, I lost that stuff, but I'm okay with it. But it was kind of cool because it was like a little bit of a treasure hunt. No value to it whatsoever, but definitely a great memory for me. So, anyway, I wanted to share that with you, and let me know. Let me know in the comments. Do you guys have anything that you found or found a replica of something that you had as a kid? Could be a card, could be an item, may not even be baseball or sports related, but just something that you thought you had lost and then you come across one exactly the same. I love to hear those stories, that connection again. So anyway, I appreciate the time. You guys have a great day and be good.